Once upon a time, I had this fun thing called Canadian Sundays where I talked to my Canadian friends about anime. And then we thought we should be jerks, make a list about the best anime of all time according to us, the 3 most forgettable opinions about anime. Then we made it a podcast. That's this podcast.
Damn, I'm sold.
Man, what a great value pitch.
That's a good pitch. I'm already on board.
I'm Tristan.
I'm Miles.
I'm Geoff. He's Pro ZD.
Pro ZD. SungWon Cho. I'm Pro ZD. Yeah.
Pro ZD. Right?
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
Canadian this time.
Right. What's up?
And this is our quest for the best, and we have our first guest.
Oh, am I the first? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, can I swear on this?
Yes.
Now you can.
Okay.
Yeah,
broke
you
the seal.
absolutely can.
Or did you guys not swear before?
We do. I literally edit it out.
I ruin it like half the episodes.
I'm ruining it. That's not going to be a rule anymore after this episode. So, yeah. Anyway. Glad to be here, boys.
Welcome. Welcome.
I saw this pop up in my recommendations, I think, and I was like, damn, that's a great idea for a podcast. And then I kind of did a little snooping. Did a little, you might have seen me comment here or there. I'm like, okay, yeah. But when you asked me to be on, I was like, absolutely, because I love talking anime. I may not be as up to date on everything as you guys, but I think I've seen a decent amount, a smidge. So.
Well, it's good because half the things that we end up talking about are not recent at all.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you say that,
yeah,
dude, but like every time we've hung out, you like talk about like 15 at least anime that I haven't seen.
You know why that is?
Coded.
It's because you guys have to watch the new stuff and you're like, all these shows I don't want to watch. And I'm like, because I don't have to do this as my job, I get to watch only the ones. And it's like,
just the cream of the crop.
Critical darling from 15 years. You know what I'm watching right now? And my exercise show is I'm watching Ashita no Joe.
Nice.
For the first
hell
time.
Yeah.
That super popular show that all the kids, all the Zoomers really want to watch.
I mean,
Ashita no Joe.
it's an all-time classic.
Yeah.
Have you seen Megalobox?
Oh yeah, I've seen the first one, not all of it. I saw the first season.
The second season's actually better somehow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The second season's like an incredible commentary on like the immigrant experience in America, weirdly. But it's like legit like pure cinema.
Okay. Yeah. I've heard good things. I liked the first season. Let's see what else. So my channel, I'm like kind of trying to just turn it into literally whatever the I feel like doing, like, which I guess has always been the case, but truly now, not to get too into the nitty gritty, but I feel like as my priorities have really shifted, because now it's like voiceover is really, it's like, it used to be like YouTube voiceover in terms of busyness, and it's just completely reversed now. And so now it's like, okay, if YouTube people are just whatever, I'm just like, all right, I want to turn it into just, I talk about anime. And so lately I've been doing a lot of catch up. Like I'm watching My Dress Up Darling for the first time.
Ooh.
I'm about halfway through, but I'm enjoying it.
Oh, so you're where I was when I was stopped, and I'm like, oh, I've seen this. This is good.
Okay.
I'm satisfied.
Nah.
I had to rewatch the rest for the pod, but
does that change for you? Like, you know what?
No, that's a good question.
Okay.
It did. It is good enough that I'm happy I kept watching. But the thing is, like, I watched the first episode of Kaguya, and I'm like, yep, I'm good. I get where it's going. It seems like it's going to be extremely good. I just will watch something else that I don't feel like I already have seen.
I see. Kaguya, I've read all the manga, but I haven't seen the show yet. Yeah.
I mean, the show's a really good adaptation, actually, that like transforms the manga in really interesting ways. The manga is like very gag of the week format for most of its run.
Yeah.
And the show like very smartly weaves the gags together into
a little more cohesive. Okay. Sure.
So you like, I mean, if you've read the whole manga, you know how like crazy Kaguya gets toward the end, how like the plot escalates.
Yeah.
You get a better sense of that early in the anime, which is why it's so infuriating to me that Miles stopped before getting to the point where you understand that no, Kaguya is not every rom-com you've seen before. It's like...
He didn't just stop. He specifically insulted you based on how many times you have recommended it by going, no, it's fine. But I mean, we do that all the time.
And the fact I wrote a feature film about how good Kaguya is.
Something that was surprising to me with Kaguya was, because I didn't watch any of the anime, I only read the manga, so I had assumed the anime had adapted everything. But no, right? It's not even that far.
It just got to the Christmas
kind of like that halfway point or something, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Really. Yeah.
I just assumed, that show's been out forever. It's covered everything, right? And I'm like, it hasn't even gotten to like the juicy stuff. Like, I feel like that manga shifts halfway through, and you're like, oh, okay, interesting. Like, it becomes different.
Once you start thinking Ishigami is going to be a harem protagonist, that's where it's like, okay, this is really getting interesting. And then when you find out what they actually do with him, you're like,
yeah.
But you're also the one that really likes harems, Geoff, compared to like me and Miles.
I have a deep appreciation for one of the original anime genres, right? Mecha, shonen battle, harem anime,
magical girl,
magical girl, rom-coms about people in arranged marriages. The pillars of anime.
I like good anime, so that's my genre of anime that I.
Okay, well, you know what?
Yeah,
you know what? You're giving us crap for sitting down for the seasonals and watching all that stuff, but. Because you're not watching the crap, you missed out this season on I'm the evil lord of an intergalactic empire.
No, he didn't miss anything.
An isekai that starts with the main character literally getting cucked to death.
Hey, if the anime title has more than 7 words in it, I'm out. Like, if it, I'm the something of the something. I'm good. I think.
There you go. I've read the title. I already know everything.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't need to watch it. We're good.
With that said, though, I do like watching stuff that even I know I won't like. If it's like the, let's say, critically acclaimed stuff. You know what? I'm like 2 parts into, or no, I've seen the movies too. The Bakemonogatari, the first season, even though it's not necessarily my cup of tea, I actually liked it overall. Like, it is extremely horny, but there's stuff about it where I'm like, okay, this is pretty clever, funny. And then, the toothbrushing scene?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Got it. Yeah. Got
Peak
it.
Culture.
No, peak culture? Oh my God.
This is the difference in all of our tastes and why we feel like our discussions work pretty well. Because Geoff will come out swinging, and he's going to come out swimming when we inevitably do an episode on 100 girlfriends that really like you.
I mean, no, the 100 girlfriends is actually peak.
Is not.
I have heard from people that Monogatari is peak, but no, 100 girlfriends is peak. Really think about.
I knew that he was going to go into a rant when I brought it up, but I did it anyway.
Of course you did. You knew exactly.
Sell me on 100 girlfriends. Yeah. What is it, 100 girlfriends who really, really, really love you?
Yeah.
That wasn't enough reallys.
Yeah.
So it's 5 really.
Okay. Got it. Already out, but go ahead. Yeah.
The premise is the main character is this guy who's been rejected by 100 girls by the time he hits high school. He thinks his love life is terribly unlucky, but he finds out from the god of love that actually, not only is he about to meet his soulmate, but he's about to meet 100 different soulmates, because while he was filling out his number of soulmates part on his future love life form, the god of love got distracted by Laputa being on TV again, and you can't just not watch Laputa.
Sure.
So he put his score for Laputa in that segment of the thing, which was a perfect 100 out of 100.
Okay.
So now he has 100 girlfriends. And if he does not fully fall in love with every one of those 100 girls and make them fall in love with him, then they will die, because meeting your soulmate uses up all of your luck for the rest of your life, and you don't get to keep it if you don't stay with your soulmate.
Which is what my wife says to me every time I get a bad pull in Magic the Gathering. I use up all my life. Look.
It's true. So the thing that makes 100 girlfriends amazing is that there are actually 100 girls in the harem. They're all uniquely memorable. They're all uniquely lovable.
There are 100 unique characters that are all good.
I don't think they've all been introduced yet.
Yeah. Well, there's 33.
Okay, so you lied to me. Got it. We're starting off with lies. Got it. Okay. Yeah. Got it. You're like, there's 100. I'm like, there's no way. There's 100.
There is 33. There should be 100 if it doesn't get canceled early.
Okay. It will get to 100 eventually. The thing is, for them all to be memorably good characters, they all need a character introduction.
Sure.
Because you run out of the basic harem archetypes very early on, right? You know, you get the tsundere out of the way. And the way they do the tsundere is also great. She's literally got the worst poker face of anybody in the entire harem. Because, like, she just says the opposite of whatever she's thinking all the time. And gives away everything that they do. Like, it's not like we were peeking on you naked in the bath or something, and then they're all like everybody in the group slaps their foreheads at once. Great gags. Every character is memorable, and the chemistry with the main character, who is the most lovable man in existence, is just like, you believe the relationship between him and every other girl. And they don't try to make it like a love triangle. They don't try to make it like a will they, won't they. They get added to the relationship / it's kind of a cult at this point.
Oh,
and
great.
Then the story just continues with them as part of the Rentaro family.
And if you want to hear Geoff talk about that more, eventually we'll get an episode
have a podcast episode.
The only thing about that interests me is, so it is like a positive, like, polyamory, like, okay, that's the one thing where I'm like, okay, that's actually interesting. Instead of the love triangle, you can only have one. That's okay.
They talk about their feelings with each other. And keep trying. It becomes a very serious organizational task.
Wow.
By the time that the time they're putting 30 people in the poly.
Have you watched all of Monster?
Yes. Am I the only one? Wait, I am the only one out of the three of us that have watched all of Monster. Yes.
Jeff, you haven't?
I've only watched part of it.
I'm just listening to you talk about all this, and I'm like, but has this watched all of Monster?
I am going to drag them through Monster in the exact same way that, thankfully, we got you to agree to come on, which has dragged them through. Well, not dragged them, because by the time they started watching it, I hope they actually wanted to keep going with it, because neither of them had done Chihaya before this.
I could not stop.
Did you watch all 3 seasons?
No.
We didn't have time for all 3 seasons, but
I did.
Okay, you're the real one.
I'm 5 episodes into season 2 right now.
Okay, not bad.
Episodes now.
How about you, Miles?
I was only 12 episodes in on Monday when we last talked about this.
Yes.
And since then I've watched 18 episodes.
So you're somewhere in season 2?
You're about where I'm at in season 2.
I'm like 2 episodes behind you, Jeff. Basically, I thought I was going to stop at season 1, and then I'm like, no,
you can't.
No, I can't.
No, because I mean, we shouldn't be discussing this until we get.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
But
neither of them have watched Monster.
I watched half of it.
I've watched
recently.
I've watched part of it. I need to. It's like.
Did you watch Pluto?
Yeah, of course I watched.
I don't know. I'm just checking. I watched 1,000 Girlfriends or whatever. I'm just double checking. I'm like, come on.
I watch. Both of them are good anime.
It's okay to watch the slop as long as you've seen the good classics.
Yeah.
No, 100 Girlfriends is not slop.
Okay.
Listen to me, Tristan. Listen to me.
We did listen to you, and it did not sound like anything other than slop.
There's not a 0% chance I will watch the show. There's not a 0% chance. There are certain anime that it's like probably a 0% chance I'll watch in my lifetime, but this is not one of them because you got good taste. I will. I
know I can never sell you on the isekai, the Cuck Dune isekai, which is what Evil Lord of a Intergalactic Empire is, but I can't sell you on 100 Girlfriends.
Okay.
This is the frustrating part about Geoff, is that fundamentally he does have good taste,
right?
And so we do have to give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, he was describing this book series to us for like 6 months, and then I finally read it, and then for the last 3 months we've been bullying Tristan to read Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Dungeon Crawler.
I literally have it on my desk right now.
This has been a running gag for far longer than the podcast has been a thing, because it has extended beyond the podcast into literally every time we get together.
Okay.
It used to be we would joke about, hey, can we get through a podcast episode without making a 9/11 reference? Now it's, can we get through a podcast episode without referencing Dungeon Crawler Carl? The answer is no.
We can't because it's peak.
Okay.
You've used peak for like 5 different things in the last half hour. How many peaks are there? Is this a whole mountain range?
One of my and Miles' mutual goals for this podcast, for this episode, is to get you into this. And I'll give you the basic pitch.
No.
It's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy meets The Running Man meets Sword Art Online.
Ooh, you had me. You had me.
You had him, then you lost him.
You had me for a bit. Okay, yeah.
But
are there 100 girlfriends in this one too?
Yes,
no,
they all die.
There's 18 levels of world dungeon. See, what happens is...
Oh, you're really losing.
Jeff, we really
losing.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I mean, the thing is, the toughest thing about Dungeon Crawler Carl to get people into it is the title. It sounds completely disposable.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But it's actually...
Is this a novel, light novel? Like
novel.
It's a series of, I think it began as a web novel.
Okay.
Now it's just novels.
Okay.
Soon it'll be a webtoon.
There's a webtoon happening, and Fuzzy Door Productions is making a TV show out of it.
Okay.
Which might be really good, might be terrible. I don't know.
You should be in it.
But
sorry?
yeah.
You should be in it, SungWon.
Tell them send me the auditions. Yeah.
But so basically aliens eradicate all the structures on Earth. The only place to go is down into a dungeon. A man goes down there with his cat. The cat learns to talk, and the cat becomes the boss of the party.
Okay. Not bad. Okay. Why not? I mean, it's a novel. I'm not gonna read a novel. Does it have pictures? Is it manga? No.
It has an audio.
There's a really good audiobook.
I'm not an audiobook guy. I respect audiobooks, but I gotta have the,
That's fair.
I'll be straight up with you. If it's a novel, probably not, but never say never. Never say never. You know what I do with stuff like this is I log it and I go, okay, like it's recommended to me. I'll go, and then if I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's the thing that Geoff recommended, and so it's in the database now. It's in the database.
What?
We put Tristan into like the most. He's regressed into his turtle shell whenever this topic comes up now, to the point that like he basically doesn't exist when we talk about it. It's
more or less. I made an image for our producer Chloe because they started talking about it so much, and basically, it's a chart that's like the more they bug me about it, and the likelihood of me actually reading it. And it just keeps going down.
Gotcha.
It is like broken through the chart and just keeps going down at this point.
But if they make an anime, you can just watch that, right?
I know. Well, I mean, it's turning into a webtoon, so sure, Crunchyroll's gonna make an anime at some point.
I hope so. It will be peak if it gets made. That is the 100% way guaranteed to get me to actually watch it and care, because then I will have to. Because you could also read the webtoon will probably be pretty good
when it comes out.
But it's legitimate literature though, is the thing.
Okay,
that's all. It like sounds like the dumbest thing ever, and then you start reading it and you're like, oh, damn, they're taking all these world building ideas 100% seriously and like really digging into what makes humanity as a whole tick. Through the lens of everybody is in a dungeon that is also a game show.
If they ever make an anime, I'll still probably not watch it, but maybe I'll more likely watch it. I'll more likely watch it. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All
okay.
right.
So
Go ahead. Yeah.
Every episode we do a question of the week, and it usually comes from our audience. Okay. This time I was watching one of your videos and I got inspired to ask a question of you and of the whole group ourselves, which is, whose wife here has the best taste in anime?
Mine.
I think you got a pretty strong claim there. The thing is, Yazy's taste in anime, she's got very specific tastes.
Sure.
She knows what she likes.
Okay, yeah. I can respect
JJK.
that. Yeah.
Jujutsu Kaisen, but I mean, she understands Jujutsu Kaisen on a level most people never do.
It's not a level of understanding. It's like, it's a symbiotic relationship. She's almost actually JJK herself now.
So what are Yazy's? Let's run through. Do you have a list? Did you guys prepare lists of like?
I can tell you off the top of my head what our favorite anime are, which are Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans.
I've heard good things. Sorry, I'm gonna get sidetracked on every single item on the list.
No, that's why you're here, dude. Right. That's what we want you here for.
Gundam, I've been trying to play catch up because I've only experienced. I watched 8th MS Team.
I watched
the first part.
That is not what I would have expected.
Yeah, Thunderbolt. I watched the first part very recently for the first time.
Nice.
And then
such good music.
Yeah.
I've read all of the Mobile Suit Gundam, the Origin manga.
Oh, the hardcover ones. Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
And I had
that
never
is a really good way to like.
I had never experienced any Gundam
classic
before
story.
And then I watched the trilogy movies, and that was like, it was okay because it's just like, the typical anthology. You got to cut the shit out, like, and it just feels disjointed.
We've talked about this. Like, the trilogy movies are a good way to get the lore,
right?
Like the basic like outline of how the 1 year war went down,
right?
But watching the show, you get to really live with the characters, and it's a much better experience.
I'm sure it is.
It's just the difference of if you feel like you have the time and for some people like the patience and temperament to watch like a 50 some odd episode from the 70s anime, and some people can't.
Because they're weak. I'm literally just about to finish my 3rd rewatch of Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
Hell yeah!
I have 8. I have 8 episodes left of my third rewatch. I watched it on my own. I watched it with my wife, and I'm watching it again because I bought that ridiculous Blu-ray set.
The special edition one that they said was going to go fast, and they still got like 30 copies.
Oh, do they really? I'm telling. As a fan though of that series, 100% worth it. I don't care if it's the most ridiculously priced thing. I'm like, I have it physically. Anyway, Mobile Suit Gundam, the original. Sure, at some point I'd like to watch it, but they have like the adaptation of the Origin, right?
So yeah, Origin only goes up to the Origin anime only goes up to where the original Mobile Suit Gundam starts. Basically,
so it's all the Char stuff.
Yeah, it's all the Char stuff, and then once it gets into Amuro's story, it just assumes you can go watch the original anime.
Okay,
That's fair.
like I will say, like, you talk about a lot of 70s anime, 80s anime are very crusty, right?
Sure.
But like Gundam, it's so well paced and the drama is so well handled. It's like it's lacking a little bit of the subtlety that you expect from a modern anime, but it's just like almost Shakespearean.
Yeah, it's earnest. A lot of that classic stuff is very earnest, which I like. Like, I don't need everything to be like, oh, it's a clever, parody, or just like, just earnest emotion. I value that a lot.
Doesn't need to be a deconstruction of the genre or anything.
Right.
Well, no, even like what's it called, Reconquista and G, like which was the most recent Tomino Gundam. Like, I enjoyed the hell out of it because it was crazy and nonsensical, but it felt like this is just a dude doing exactly what he wants to do and not worrying about perception or anything else.
I mean, Miles,
commercial viability.
Miles, you're kind of a big Tomino head, despite not having watched half of the Tomino Gundams.
Or Ideon.
But, like, the thing is, like, I think fundamentally you just vibe really hard with Tomino's I'm going to do weird stuff that I care about approach to making things. Like, Aura Battler Dunbine is a product of a man being like, I like fantasy, I like robots, I like bugs. I'm going to mash those 3 things together, and I don't care if it makes a lick of sense.
Okay.
I mean, how many great things of Japanese media are just based off of the fact that so many young boys in Japan play with beetles?
It's a not insignificant amount.
It's great.
I got Metabots right here.
Yeah.
And Pokemon came
all
from
of Pokemon, yeah.
Kids torturing beetles. It's just, if you really think about it, it's beetles all the way down.
So what's next on Yazy's list?
Because we forgot that's what we were doing, and that's fine.
I'll steer the...
He's keeping us on track.
yeah, let's go.
So her next top favorite would be Haikyuu.
Haikyuu's great, yeah. I've seen up through season 3. I'd like to watch more, though.
As a Chihayafuru enjoyer, I will say that like a lot of the man, I love this moments for Chihayafuru, I was like, damn, this is making me feel like I was watching Haikyuu for the first time in a long time.
And if you read Akane Banashi?
Yes. Oh man. I if that ever gets an anime,
I'm on that. I'm on that 1000%.
Have you read it, Miles?
So I talk about it all the time with my wife because the cover arts of
amazing.
all the volumes are just like, I'm like physically drawn to them in a magnetic forensic way. But no, I haven't read it.
It's really good. I bring it up because when I read it, I was like, oh, this is like Chihayafuru adjacent in terms of like, I love this main character. I love just seeing this world of, something I don't know that much about because I've only seen, besides this, like Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinju.
It is.
Have you guys seen that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There are only 3 Rakugo anime, and they're all, I mean,
all of them are
only
great.
Only two right now, but there will
one?
be 3 when Akane Banashi. The other one is Joshiraku, which is
more comedic focus, but still
hilarious.
Okay.
It's like Yuri, but
with Rakugo.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Okay, so Haikyuu.
And then Jujutsu Kaisen, which is her current,
I haven't heard of it. Is that like a little indie darling?
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I haven't seen any of it yet. I'm so behind on shonen stuff. Like, I obviously keep up with One Piece because, of course, but like, I've never seen Demon Slayer. I've never seen.
You have seen Demon Slayer.
Have I seen Demon Slayer?
You've seen Demon Slayer.
If you've seen Naruto, if you've seen Bleach, you've seen Demon Slayer.
I was like,
it's just slightly better animated.
What makes Demon Slayer cool, and this isn't like a downplaying Demon Slayer. What makes Demon Slayer cool is it is the shonen formula without any of the filler, without any of the repetition. It's just like going through the character's strength arc, the like moral arc of like, how do we fight these villains and what do the villains represent? It's just like doing it as efficiently as possible.
Yeah.
And
it's pretty
like,
okay.
I wouldn't say it's one of the best out there.
Sure.
But like, if you feel like watching Dragon Ball, but you don't want to watch all of Dragon Ball,
why would I not want to watch all of Dragon Ball?
Okay. Bad example. We all have good taste here.
Literally, if I'm feeling bad, I just watched the Tien Shinhan Saga
If you feel like watching Naruto, but you don't want to watch all of Naruto.
Okay.
Right?
Because
like
I'm sure that's a position that a lot of people have been in. You know what? I really want to watch Naruto today.
No. Sometimes you get like that craving for, I really want to watch
the Rock Lee training weights, or you want those hits. Yeah.
I really want to feel how I felt during the Chunin exam.
And I don't want to just watch a clip show on YouTube.
Demon Slayer gives you that as fast as it reasonably can while still making each plot beat feel impactful. It's like someone dialed the formula to exactly the perfect pacing for a shonen battle thing. Yeah, it's just that's it. It's good.
Okay.
It's not great, but it's good.
I'm gonna get myself in real trouble now. So let's talk about what I'm watching I have a weekly anime friend. We watch shows.
Okay.
And each of us brings a show.
Yeah.
So my newest one I just brought is I'm making them watch Sound Euphonium.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
The all-timers, baby!
Mm-hmm.
But the other shows we're watching Suritama, which I had never seen before.
Okay.
So good.
Also good.
And Sherlock Hound. Love Sherlock Hound.
So good.
But here's the one that's going to get me in trouble.
Okay.
We're watching JoJo.
Uh-oh.
So we're halfway through part 3.
Okay.
The boring part.
Okay. Yeah. The part that's about 2 times as long as it needs to be.
Yeah.
I think it's just not a show for SungWons. I think, and before I hear it, I think part 4, because everyone's going, part 4! I'm like,
part 4!
Part 4, I actually...
Oh, Steel Ball Run, though! Steel Ball Run!
I believe part 4 I will probably like.
You will.
But so far, I'm like, okay, it's just... And not to diminish the value of JoJo, art, the art's great, and there's a lot of good things about it. But what it really boils down to for me is G.I. Joes smashing against each other and yelling and going, I can do this power. Oh, I can do this power. He can do that power. That's like the whole. That's yeah.
Even Speedwagon was
you're
afraid.
not wrong.
Yeah,
In your voice, it makes it just as good as the experience of watching JoJo.
Yeah,
for me.
And so much piss. I don't know if you remember
there's a lot of piss. Yeah.
Like,
especially in those early seasons.
Yeah,
They call it common.
Yeah, and I think for me, I'm just like, okay, I get it. I'm still glad to be watching it because for me, anime is one of those hobbies that I want to master. There are like two hobbies I want to master. One is board games, and I've absolutely, I'm a master of board games. I don't think you can, but anime, I got a lot of blind spots. But I'm like playing catch up. I'm like, all right, I feel like I can watch all the good stuff. See, okay, mastery for me is not watching your 1,000 girlfriends, you know, your isekai cock shows, right? Like, it's just I want to watch all the not necessarily stuff I like, but the good stuff. Does that make
sense? There's this podcast I really want to recommend you called Quest for the Best, where they are trying to compile a list of the best
that sounds
anime of all time.
Okay, yeah.
Pretty good. Well, this is also why you're like the perfect first guest for us too, because you are the one actually making the best, like really good lists about anime, right?
Yeah.
On the regular. I like all of your lists. I watch, like I'm actively watching content, which feels weird for me. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not getting paid to watch your videos. I get paid to watch Geoff's videos, kind of.
But Geoff makes good shit. I mean,
he does.
Thanks.
Yeah. I mean,
thank you.
Like, for me, it's a hobby that I'm like, I feel like there's only so many good shows every season, so I feel like I can play catch up and at least have. I mean, I think I have a good knowledge of anime, but I feel like I can have a mastery of it. Like board games, I feel like the average person, any board game you mention, I've either played it or actually I've probably played it.
That.
Yeah. Like name and not to turn this but name a board game.
Story Wars.
Oh, is that the Story Wars? Did you stump me?
It's I'm cheating here because it's a card game that I bought from an indie booth at an anime convention once that I'm pretty sure
looking it up.
Down. So
Story Wars.
It's like an improv card game. It's not actually
okay.
I mean it's so basically you draw
one person has played it on Board Game Geek.
Yeah.
So you got
you
me.
draw two.
You got me.
You draw. I got you.
All right. Yeah. You're the one guy I think who's played it. Okay. Sure.
You draw two characters from a deck.
Okay.
Like it's a deck of just like characters representing different archetypes in fiction.
Okay.
And then you argue over which one would win a fight. It's not of
okay.
I mean, it's kind of like a fun like.
There are games like that, like Super Fight and stuff like that. Okay, so it's like kind of an conversation, argument kind of game. Okay,
but like a Cards Against Humanity type thing, where you know it's kind of just suggesting what you do. It's not a great board game.
Got it.
But that's the only one I could think of that you might not know.
Next time I'm in Japan, let's play it just so I can say I played it.
Okay,
I'll cover that. Like board games. And I promise we'll get back to anime. Board games are the one hobby where I'm like, I'll play anything once. Like what you guys do with anime, board games, like I'll play it once because I love seeing numbers go up, like how many board games I've played. And it's just like, okay, that I will experience the everything. Anime, it's more time. So it's like, I can't do that with everything. But however, when like, let's say a company sends me like the first volume of manga, even if it looks like shit, I will read it because that gives me an appreciation of like, okay, some manga is just bad and it makes me go, wow, so the good manga I really appreciate even more. Like it is nice every now and then to get like a sense of like, you know, like if you're only watching bangers.
I mean, you should have a reasonable amount of crap in your media diet so that you can better appreciate the legitimately good stuff because you have something terrible to compare it to.
Right.
I philosophically, I think it's very important to appreciate trash. That's why I do the hottest trash every season. I don't just do it because it gets a lot of views, although it does
help.
But like the main reason I do it is because like sometimes one of those trashy shows like 100 Girlfriends will pop off and be legitimately amazing in a way that you're never going to get out of something that's trying to be respectable.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. I get that. Like for me, that's why I will like to try to give shows a chance. Like Kobayashi was one where for me, that just feels like not SungWon taste at all. And then, I mean, I don't love everything about it, obviously, but I really love that. I've only seen the first season, but I was like, okay.
That's fine.
It has a premise that like I am like, and then I watch. I'm like, oh, it's actually really good. So I get that.
It's a beautiful story.
Yeah, like I understand on face value, it might not be something and that's why I like to try stuff like Monogatari. And even with Monogatari, I'm like, or JoJo, it's like, this isn't necessarily my speed, but I feel it's nutrition. It's still like I'm seeing the value in it. I have friends who like this stuff. And I'm like, okay, I can just be more well-informed. I like to be informed,
So what these two dudes do every season is they watch the first episode of everything. And they actually do sit down with notebooks and like watch the first episode of everything. And I think that's a really valuable practice. But what I would recommend, honestly, for you, if you do want to level up your anime watching game, is there's like 45 new shows a season typically and like 15 continuing.
Give or take.
45 new shows. You can assume a third of them you're never going to want to watch in your life. Right.
Very safe assumption.
30 anime. You watch the first episode of 30 anime. You just sit down like second week of the month and you watch only 8 hours.
Only 8 hours.
Only 8 hours.
No, people will play 8 hours of a video game. Ask Tristan what about Blueprints.
Okay, yeah, all right. Yeah.
8? You're missing a few digits.
No, I hear what you're saying. Keep going.
No, I mean, that's it's really when you just put it into bite-sized chunks and just have a dedicated, we're going to have a party. I'm going to bring people over because I love watching anime with other people. It's why I like it more than manga because I'm looking about not just the artistry, but about the experience.
Yeah.
So if I can have a bunch of people over and we're all getting a little rowdy and watching the first episode of every new anime of the season, that's a fun experience.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I totally get that. Okay. That makes sense.
I mean, that's what we would do if we all lived in the same place.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Man, that would be so fun.
Yeah.
For me, though, what makes me... So I'm like... I think you guys, since this is your job, you watch like you said, you watch a first episode of everything. But for me, I'm a completionist. So like for me, when people are like, I watched 4 episodes of... I'm like... I just like, watch the whole thing. Like, so for me, I focus on one show at a time. It's like, all right, I'm watching this. I'm going to watch it all. Next. And so I slowed my consumption is much slower, but I feel like I just focus on the stuff and one by one. That's why though that anime club thing is fun because it's like, okay, I can kind of watch 4 shows and just kind of go through it, week by week. We do like 2 episodes of each show every week.
God, you guys are so disciplined.
Get through JoJo. Sorry?
You're so disciplined because we honestly started our Sunday night calls that turned into this podcast to watch all of the Aramaki films.
Yeah.
Everything that Shinichi Aramaki's done. And we got through maybe 8 films in 5 years.
We sidetracked into like watching Metabots and G Gundam and
But you're still getting together, right? That's what matters as long as you're just hanging out, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying like you gotta just stick with it even if it's not fun anymore. Like hey, listen, Metabots rips. I get that. Yeah. Sometimes you just want to watch Metabots.
And we did. And it was absolutely worth our time. And I'm glad we did it.
These guys just assumed it was a Digimon Pokemon type thing. Not a lot of people realize, like, Hiroyuki Imaishi, one of his first directing jobs was an episode of Metabots. And you can tell which one it is because Brass suddenly has, like, a full ass.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely tracks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we're never going to finish this episode, but Miles, you brought up the question of
wife taste.
Yeah. So do you have what are some Yeah,
I have her top 3. I had to get it updated because I was outdated. I asked her, I'm like, are these still your favorites? And she said, I'm not in college anymore, Miles.
Oh, okay, sure. Right.
Because like she had some picks like Mononoke, which she's like, that's a little try hard, don't you think? I'm in my 30s. Right? Like, and I'm like, yeah, but it's still like peak. And she's like, yeah, but not top 3. And I'm like, okay.
Mononoke, it's, it's good.
It's extremely good. I hope it makes the list, but
okay,
I think I'm the only one of the 3 of us who has it on their temp lists.
Because we're referring to Mononoke and not Princess
Mononoke.
I like Mononoke, but like if I'm gonna watch something like that, I kind of just want to watch Mushishi every time.
Yeah, that's my. Unfortunately for me, Mushishi is more my speed. But I can't deny that Mononoke is a very beautiful show.
And the new movie.
I do love the try hard I watched Gankutsuo. I watched Mononoke. I kind of know. I'm kind of artistic. I love art.
I don't resemble this comment.
At the peak of me being a pretentious anime fan, Gankutsuo was literally the one I would pick as number one.
Hey, it's a good show. It's a good show. I'm not knocking Gankutsuo. But
it's a very good show.
Yeah,
it's going to be on the list.
An opening. There it is.
Man, that's one of the prettiest anime boxes in existence.
Listen,
$5.
Nice.
For audio listeners, I just pulled down my DVD box set of Gankutsuo. That was the Genion very pretty reflective box that you can probably find pictures of online.
Nice. I'm gonna start. I just love starting fights. Your viewers are never gonna want me back on.
That's fine.
Gankutsuo and Mononoke are those are good shows. What's a show that? Well, let's start a fight. Where it's I'm very impressive and I'm so cultured.
Quite.
Serial Experiments Lane. Oh
Hell
my god! What a snooze fest! Oh my god! Yeah.
When did you watch it?
Recently.
Oh,
for the
that's
first
the problem.
Time.
You can't watch it. No, you can't watch that as an adult. You need to be. You cannot have your prefrontal cortex all melded into your brain.
Yeah.
Because it will not hit right. Because it's not about that. It's not for you.
You need to be
SungWon.
14. Okay. And you need to be 14, and then this is deep.
So is it truly that everyone who loves Lane is I watched it when I was 14. I didn't understand any of it, but oh my god. Anime is so whoa.
That's almost everyone who watches Lane. There is also a significant portion of women who are I watched Lane while I was 14 and now I live in a homestead churning butter for my good Christian husband.
This sounds very specific for some reason.
There's an intense Serial Experiments Lane to Tradwife pipeline. I'm not even. Yazy and I talk about this all the time. It's
interesting.
Okay.
For me, for Lane, I'm again, it has value for sure. It's very fascinating to me that this was made. So I'm glad I watched it. But I'm not the type to put on airs and be oh yeah, no, Lane, it's so great. Or I loved it. And no, I watched it. I kept myself awake, but it was tough. It's tough.
Yeah, I can't relate to that because my first time watching Lane, I watched the whole show twice in one day.
So you're a Lane
were
guy.
14 and this was deep.
No, I was 18 and it wasn't so much that it was deep. It was more so of I was just fascinated by this particular 90s take on the internet before the internet really exploded. Yeah. And I was first year of university student, and I was watching it before my professor recommended it because we were doing an art history class, and he brought up Lane because there's a scene in one of the final episodes talking about Madeline's, and that relates to 50 other things that he wanted to talk about, and this just happened to be one of them. And no, I got into it because of all of the internet related things that ended up both becoming relevant and then also becoming super dated really quickly. And there was this weird dichotomy between those two things that I found fascinating.
It's probably the most interesting part of it is its interpretation of the internet. And and the effects of it and stuff.
Because it came out in 98. So it was what did 98, Japan in 98 specifically, how did they view what the internet was?
Gotcha.
And then where it would go and what it would do.
Yeah.
I mean, Konaka is a really interesting writer in that respect. Like Digimon Tamers, I think is just better. It's better Lane. It's what if all of the boring bits of Lane were Digimon fights instead?
That does sound better. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, Konaka is just a really interesting writer because he'll have the most insightful points about how the internet twists our psychology and parasocial relationships. Like, there's all these interesting themes of Lane that are still relevant, and then there are these other things that completely missed the boat, just completely off base for what the internet would eventually become.
Well, I think that's kind of his thing and his bag, because sometimes I feel like he has really good points and a lot of really good things that he wants to say. And they can land in a show really well, but then other times he tries to do things that turn into absolute, what are you even on?
Like the Digimon Tamers 20th anniversary stage play.
Oh my God.
Where the gang gets back together to fight the evil monster from the internet, cancel culture.
Okay. Wow.
I will say,
yeah,
really quickly on Lane is just to say that the World Wide Web, so the internet as we know it, had not existed for 10 years when Lane was made. So it was very new, but also, especially in the 90s, Japan was culturally and technologically about 10 years behind the US, right? And so the internet was allowing some people to catch up, and it created this really interesting dissonance that is captured in Lane from just like a sociology perspective. Lane is a fascinating piece of media in that perspective.
Right. Yeah. No, of course, yeah, it has value, of course.
But it's fine.
But I just found it very, very
fair enough.
Punishing.
Yeah, no, I feel you there. It's like,
that's my reaction watching Lane. Just that's
it's one of those.
All right, so it's gonna be a bit until I'm able to convince you guys to do a podcast episode on Lane. I get it.
One of those. It's like one of those black and white movies that is good, but they were still figuring some stuff out.
You're like, this is important. It's important. Yada yada yada.
Y'all are watching the wrong black and white movies, man.
I'm like, if we're talking like Citizen Kane or whatever,
sure,
or like the classic Godzillas,
those are a bit rough.
Citizen Kane's not a bit rough.
No, but
the Godzilla ones are.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, the classic Godzillas have like a charm to them.
Do.
They're rough, but they're fun.
Yeah, for like 20 minutes.
And then like Serial Experiments Lane is like, I don't want to say Birth of a Nation, but I don't know that many black and white movies.
Wow, what a comparison. I will say my favorite part of Lane is, do you remember the present time? Yeah, classic. So yes, what are some shows we didn't even get to the top 3.
I didn't even get to them.
Yeah.
We haven't even talked about your wife, Miles.
Yeah.
Come on.
So my wife's favorites, this is a brand new list.
Sure.
Land of the Lustrous #1,
okay,
Flip-Floppers #2, and Turn A Gundam #3.
What was the second show?
All very good choices.
Flip-Floppers.
I don't know. I know the name. I haven't seen it.
I don't agree with Flip-Floppers, but it's made up by Turn A Gundam personally.
Okay. And so I haven't seen the other two, but I'll have to.
Oh, you haven't seen Land of the Lustrous?
No, I've seen Land of the Lustrous. I haven't seen Turn A Gundam or Flip-Floppers. Yeah.
I was about to say, Land of the Lustrous seems like
Turn A is my favorite Gundam.
Turn A is like on my. That's one of the Gundams I haven't gotten to yet that I think is going to probably become my favorite when I finally get
Turn
to
A
it.
is my favorite with the knowledge that I haven't watched Zeta yet, but I also know that ID has watched Zeta, so I'm comfortable.
Yeah. And Zeta, I mean, what was the third one that we were talking about again?
Flip-Floppers?
It was Flip-Floppers, yeah. Flip-Floppers is good. I want to take this moment because people do not talk about Flip-Floppers enough. If you want to see just 11 episodes of a insanely passionate auteur director doing crazy sakuga with like a little bit of magical girl stuff, a little bit of it's kind of Yuri. It's just a really good time. It's a really good time for if you appreciate animation specifically.
Now my wife, so she, we did a video, with her top 10, which you should all go watch. Give me those views, baby. But, I don't give a shit. So we're doing the top 3.
I've only not seen one of these. I've seen everything else.
I'll run down. Samurai Champloo, Steins Gate.
Excellent.
Chihayafuru, FMA Brotherhood, Legend of the Galactic Heroes, Delicious in Dungeon, Paradise Kiss, Pluto, Mushishi, Gurren Lagann.
Yeah, all of them, except for the one that I haven't seen.
Pete, which one is the one I haven't seen?
Paradise Kiss and Legend of the Galactic Heroes are the only two on there that I haven't.
Yeah, I haven't seen
really
Paradise Kiss, but I've seen everything.
Have you seen Nana?
I've seen Nana. Nana's great.
You'll love Paradise Kiss then.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
well, good. I mean, considering everything else on this list, I'm just like, okay, so that probably means that what I'm missing is totally fine. I'm gonna love it.
Yeah. I I know when I finally sit down to watch Legend of the Galactic Heroes, that's going to be one of my favorite anime of all time.
It's really good. Yeah.
I mean, I would have recommended it for the podcast a long time ago if it weren't for the fact of how long it is.
It's 170 episodes.
I know.
110.
110?
Yeah. There's Gaiden episodes that you don't have to watch. There's about 50 Gaiden episodes, but the main show is 110. Well, I would recommend watch the Overture to a War, the movie first.
Yeah.
And then watch the 110. And then if you really love it, you can watch the Gaiden stuff. It's extra, but yeah.
Which is like other bits of the world and
it's like a bunch of short stories that they didn't adapt in the show. So yeah. Your wives have good taste.
I think you were right. Your wife.
Yeah.
I mean, your wife's taste is really good. Like Samurai Champloo, goated.
Mushishi at number 2.
Mushishi at number 2 is pretty impressive. Bold and impressive. Gurren Lagann at number 1, also a very bold, impressive choice. But yeah, I mean, this is really like, I would say your wife's list is on par with my own list of the best anime of all time that I just put out, or maybe even slightly better.
I think it's better.
Because
I think Anne-Marie's. Well, the thing is, Anne-Marie's, that's more of a statement. Your list is kind of, Geoff, is a really good list, but it does feel like a little bit of a giving one for the crowd, like a little more of a generally acceptable list. Anne-Marie's like, here's my taste, deal with it. And I love a good list that.
Yeah, so my list was specifically, I was trying to talk about the best stuff I've ever seen and not necessarily my personal favorites, which is, it's a different intellectual exercise.
Okay, you're talking about like objectively best? Is that what it is?
Not objectively, but like if I think about what I care about most in what makes an anime good, and what expresses that the best. For example, I put Cowboy Bebop on my list.
Okay.
Whereas if I was doing just personal taste, I would have put Irresponsible Captain Tyler instead.
Okay.
I think they both represent very Sakuga heavy mid-90s sci-fi Odyssey TV shows. But if I'm thinking about like
category,
what's paced the best, what's got the tightest like animation, I think Cowboy Bebop beats it out a little bit. But if I'm, personally, I'm going to go for Star Trek starring Mr. Beam in the place of
I too
Captain
also
Picard.
like Outlaw Star.
Outlaw Star is also good. Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
But, I tried to pick the best in each category. And the thing is, it now immediately feels incomplete because now that I've watched Chihayafuru, despite the fact that Ping Pong is pretty much I thought there's no way a sports story could get better than Ping Pong.
I mean,
and
Ping
then
Pong's
I sat
awesome.
down and watched Chihayafuru.
Man.
Chihayafuru.
We'll get into it later. But man,
we should hear your top 10 list.
Okay,
SungWon.
From 3 years ago. Oh, Full Metal Panic. I love Full Metal Panic.
Full Metal Panic.
Full Metal Panic is
for
so
me.
good.
That's
you guys were just saying it's never going to make the list, cowards. Last episode, you said I wasn't going to make the list. Come on.
Not that it wasn't going to make the list. Like I want to bring. Okay, so Full Metal Panic. I want to bring it up. I want us to do an episode on Full Metal Panic, but I am fully aware that when it comes to like our final list, Fumofu is the only thing that I'm going to be able to drag across that finish line.
I really like Second Raid.
Second Raid is really good.
Here's how I've looked at it. Full Metal Panic, the original 3 seasons, I'm not talking about season 4 and the new stuff. The original 3 seasons is you had season 1, which was like kind of the best combination and of an amalgamation of the 2 tones that the show likes to go for. And then they split it off so that all the comedy went to Fumofu, and then all of the serious action missionary stuff went to Second Raid. And I loved how they did that.
Mercenary, not missionary, to be clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I liked
two very different
things. Yeah. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
I liked how they were able to make that divide and split, because then it's like, okay, well, you can get into it with season 1 and you can see everything that's there. And then when you have decided which part of the show that you liked, because they are very different, you can either go watch Fumofu or you can go and watch Second Rate. Or if you like all of it, watch both and just be done with it and be glad. And it'll be fun.
Right. There are 2 shows that, like, so you know how you were talking about how you have to watch Lane at a certain age and it just hit? The 2 shows that for me like that are Full Metal Panic and School Rumble. Those 2 shows for me hit so hard. And
how have we not ever brought up School Rumble on this podcast before?
School Rumble, I cannot, like, I mean, it's fun. It's good. I can't defend it as, like, one of the best of all time. Like, it's a funny romantic comedy, but it hits so hard. And those 2 shows, I think what I love the most about them is I'm not someone who gets super engrossed in, like, the shipping, like, this pair, but the romance in Full Metal Panic of the 2 leads and School Rumble. Do you remember the love triangle in School Rumble?
Yeah, it's so good. The, like, blandest guy on the entire planet.
Oh, no. I'm talking about the Harima one. Harima.
Yeah, no, Harima. No, but I'm saying she's in love with the blandest guy on the planet.
Right.
And the most interesting man in the entire world is in love with her.
Right. But the most interesting man, he's basically like a delinquent thug who becomes a mangaka. It's great. He had 2 love interests, like the Ojo-sama blonde rich girl, and then the super sweet quiet sister. Do you remember this love triangle? It's fine if you don't. It's just for me, him and the sister, the quiet sister, that was everything to me. I was like, what a wonderful, cute relationship. I don't really feel that anymore when I watch modern anime because, you know, I'm not 14 anymore. Like, but I think those lingering, like, just, I love this couple. Like, I love to see them interact. Like, that's why those 2 are, like, all-timers for me. And I think Full Metal Panic is still good. I think that first season's kind of rough. It doesn't age super well in terms of, like, quality. I mean, it's the KyoAni season, so they're great.
School Rumble still absolutely holds up as a comedy. You know, like, the director of that went on to do something really good.
While you look that up, Silver Spoon. Anybody?
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah!
Did you read the manga?
I didn't finish Silver Spoon because I started watching it with a friend, and then at one point it was recommended, okay, if we're going to continue, we're going to get to this episode, and we need to prepare for it. And I'm like, well, what do we need to prepare? And he's just like, we're going to want to watch this episode, and then we're going to want pizza. Yes. Don't ask me why. We're going to want pizza.
Yep.
And then we never got around to it for one reason or another. So that's where I've stopped on Silver Spoon, but I want to keep going. I just need to make sure I have pizza for some reason.
The anime is great. It doesn't adapt all of it, but the manga, one of the best of all time. I mean, it's Hiromu Arakawa, and, like, I'm so sad it didn't get more anime. I would love for that to get more. All my favorite shows never get, like, Chihayafuru was one. We're still waiting on
season 4.
Season 4.
Yeah. That's
what else is on here? Haikyuu's in the top 10? This is a little I like Haikyuu a lot, but
now it's a bit of a dated list.
Haruhi Suzumiya is going to be in the top 10.
Yeah.
Let's see. Galactic Heroes, of course. Shirobako, I love.
Yeah.
Sound Euphonium, that's going to go up.
Yeah.
I think that's, yeah.
Sound UFO stocks only rising.
Indie darling Cowboy Bebop would probably go down, but it's probably still in the top 10. I'm not going to be one of those guys who's like, it's still over. I love Cowboy Bebop. I'm not going to.
For real. It's great.
And the Mushishi Monster Chihayafuru.
Nailed it.
Chihayafuru and Monster will always, I think, be in the top 2. You know, Sound maybe would go. Is that in top
after
3?
season 3? Yeah.
And then is this not on here? Oh, I mean, you know what would take top 10 for me is Bocchi the Rock.
Nice.
I love Bocchi the Rock.
Bocchi's great.
So get Haikyuu out of there. Oh, Full Metal Panic. Oh. Sorry, I love you. Yeah. Probably out. Haruhi and Bocchi are in. Is there anything else? It's hard for me to. There are shows that I really like, but I don't know. Piercing top 10 is really, really tough.
It's hard,
yeah.
which is why we've dedicated a whole podcast to attempt to do it.
If they do like an Akane Banashi anime that lives up to the manga, that one might be.
Could be that good, yeah.
And then I know we're never going to finish this episode. We're never going to finish it. Love Live.
I watched through Sunshine.
What'd you think?
I love Sunshine dearly. The original series, the season 2s of both the first 2 series are like 20 times better. And so like I get the obsession, and I definitely played a lot of the mobile game because I just love the character so much.
Right.
But like after Sunshine ended, I'm like, I don't want, like, how can I love these girls so much. I don't want new girls.
That's totally fair. You too. Love Live, Sunshine, anything?
I ended up messing with Superstar. I really like Superstar.
Yeah, Superstar's good. Yeah, okay.
And from Sunshine, Yohane the Parhelion really hit for me.
Of course, sure.
The fantasy spin-off. It's actually like legit really good.
Okay, no, I don't doubt that. And then
there's a pretty good Metroidvania tie-in too.
I've played the Slay the Spire ripoff. That slapped. Yeah, the Love Live Sunshine Yohane Slay the Spire ripoff game is so fun. It's really good. It is exactly like Slay the Spire, easier, but whoa, it hits. And then,
I mean, there's no complaints there. Yeah, Slay the Spire rules.
It rules. And then Tristan, you haven't seen any of it?
No, because around the time that it came out, it was just like I had my fill of idol shows after a friend of mine was trying to drag me tooth and nail into Idolmaster.
Okay.
And I was just kind of, you know what? I'm okay for a bit.
Idolmaster and Love Live are not even.
I know they're not, but it's still like the level of idol shows. Like, and also that was also around the time that people, including Mr. Miles here, were trying to get me into things like Symphogear. And it's like there was a lot of things that involved idols that I started to almost resent anytime idols showed up. And so like when I watched like the first episode of Uma Musume, I was just like, okay, racing horse girls, cool. And then idols, and I'm like, okay, do we need to? But
if I'm back on here again, I'm gonna make you guys watch Love Live Sunshine. Maybe.
Okay.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
Love Live Sunshine. Like, okay, let me just run through it. The original Love Live show, it's fun, but it's not like a you gotta watch it.
Okay.
Love Live Sunshine, like it's so like the theme, the message of it, the theme of it, the emotions of it. It is peak Love Live. Because Love Live, for those who don't know, it's like a sports anime. It's like a sports anime, and it's very heartwarming. And the way Love Live Sunshine ends is just incredible. So if you only watch one, Superstar is good. I really enjoy I haven't finished it, but I've seen like 2 seasons. If you only ever watch one thing, Love Live Sunshine. I mean, it's Juki Hanada. You know Juki Hanada, right?
Yeah, I was literally just pulling up
Sound Euphonium writer and Steins Gate. Like it's
Sound Euphonium, Steins Gate, A Place Further Than the Universe, which if you haven't seen that one, SungWon,
I've seen
will change. Okay, yeah.
Well, why is it on your list? Wait,
who the do you think you're talking to? I haven't seen A Place Further Than the Universe. No, I'm kidding.
No, why is it on your list, dude? I'm like, where's Rakugo?
Wait. On the top 30?
Yeah.
That's because I hadn't seen Rakugo yet. Rakugo.
Okay, good.
Further Than the Universe, you guys follow me on Bluesky. You're gonna be make a top. You'll see me post a top 30. Like,
okay,
I'm gonna make one. I gotta update this.
Okay,
I'm pulling up the receipts from 3 years ago. Listen, I gotta update this. I gotta update it.
I frequently forget just like how insanely goated a writer Juki Hanada actually is.
Yeah.
Like I'm just scrolling through his credits, right? And there's all the Love Lives.
Yeah.
There's Chuni Bio.
Mm-hmm.
Just casually in the middle of there, Princess Jellyfish.
Yeah.
Steins Gate, obviously.
He's the best. Like his stuff really clicks with me. I'm really excited for it because I really like the manga, the See You at the Food Court. Do you know this one?
The
manga is really radar. Charming. So I'm hoping the anime will live up to it. Should we talk about Chihayafuru?
I guess that brings us to our main quest, where it's time to talk about Chihayafuru And SungWon, would you like to elevator pitch the class on the greatest anime of all time?
So many times. Okay, it is an anime about karuta, which is a sports. It's a basically there's 100 poems, and I know you're already falling asleep. I know it's already boring to hear about this, but there's 100 poems, and they read a verse of the poem, and they have to hit the correct card that matches the poetry verse. It's like a reflex game, but it's also a memorization game, and it's about these high schoolers who just love this sport. It's a very niche thing, even in Japan, but it's just great watching these kids get really into this community of this really interesting card game. I promise you, it's really fun. It's really heartwarming. It's really interesting. Even the game is interesting. That's the elevator pitch. And everyone's like, yeah, that sounds great. Where's the Jujutsu Kaisen in it? I'm like, all right, well,
I mean, when I did a video on it about 5 years ago, I didn't even attempt to explain karuta. I even made a point near the end of it. It's just like, okay, what karuta is doesn't matter. If I try to explain to you karuta, you're going to fall asleep and you're going to get turned off the show. The show itself will explain exactly what you need to know about karuta when you need to know it. Right. Anything I say will make it worse.
Yeah, it does a very good job of explaining the sport, because a lot of people don't really they probably in Japan they've heard of it. Oh, that's the thing that, but they don't know all the nitty gritty. So it really clearly explains it, like as you said, as when you need to know the details. Yep. And so by the time you're watching full games, you're like, oh, it's not that crazy to wrap my head around. It's something that I was I was a little disappointed when I read Hikaru no Go for the first time, which is pretty recent.
Which is very, very similar. It's similar in tone, I would say.
Similar in tone,
for the game section.
It does not explain the game really at all. It's just about characters' reactions to stuff. And you're like, yeah, that sounds intense. But in Chihayafuru, you always understand what's happening in the game at any time. Like, you get so into it. And so it's clear.
I do want to Hikaru no Go is one of my personal all-time favorite manga. Yeah. And I just want to step in and defend. I do think that not explaining how the game works in the end, focusing on the character reactions and the character drama is the correct move for Hikaru no Go. Okay. Because Go is so complicated as a board game that you need to be at least like journeyman level to even understand who is winning a game at any given time. It's just like you need so much pattern knowledge. It's not like chess.
Then don't make it a manga. I was so lost the whole manga, dude. I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, I mean, counterpoint. You can watch March Comes In Like a Lion, which is about shogi, and you can go into that show not knowing anything about shogi. You can come out of that show still not knowing anything about shogi, but you can do it while having a good time.
And Hikaru no Go is a good time. It's like
I didn't have a bad time reading it.
Yeah.
I make a lot of comparisons with Chihayafuru to Haikyuu because I think there is a lot of similarities, but also with Haikyuu, I don't know the nitty gritties of volleyball. I know how it works, but it's like it feeds it to you, and you can follow exactly what's happening in a Haikyuu volleyball match and in a Chihayafuru karuta match. You can follow it very clearly. It's not a confusing game. I think some people get intimidated, like, I don't want to learn, what is all this stuff? Like I've never seen a mahjong anime. Are they also inscrutable?
The legendary Koizumi is not. But
how about
that's
Akagi?
also because
it's on my list, but I haven't seen Akagi.
Akagi is super. You can follow it super well. Like, I don't know the rules of Japanese mahjong at all. I can do the Chinese version, but the Japanese version is just completely over my head. Akagi, one of the most engrossing sports manga you'll ever see.
I gotta watch it.
I think mahjong anime, like mahjong, is a little inscrutable, but it's also poker,
Yeah, it's not that inscrutable because I know mahjong, and I promise we'll get back to Chihayafuru. I know mahjong I know it from Yakuza because I 100% make Yakuza 0 and stuff. So like, it's not that inscrutable. It's just like make sets. There's all these other rules on top of it that you have to memorize, but the basic of it is just make triples and
I think the bonus of it for like a narrative perspective is that really you only need to know the end when someone has actually made something, and then you need to like as Geoff mentioned, it's kind of more like poker. As long as you know what the poker hands are, roughly speaking, and then like how they relate to one another as far as which one tops the other one,
Right.
you're kind of okay from a watching perspective. You don't need to see kind of how they get there. You just need to see the end of it, and it's fine.
But tying it back to Chihayafuru, what I love though is that the whole time it's engrossing for me. Anyway. The matches are like so. It's just so well done.
When I was watching it, it did like a really good job of sort of slowly immersing me in how this works.
Yeah.
Like, there's that moment in the first episode where like your understanding of the game evolves from, you think it's a board game that they're preparing for in class, right? You know, because they're talking about these cards.
Right.
And, you know, there are a bunch of kids playing a memory game, right? And then there's that moment where it's like, oh, Karuta is a sport.
Right.
And they really sell that like the speed and reactions are what matters.
When
and
he hits the card and it flies past her and like cuts into the, you know, the wall.
Yeah, it like embeds itself in the wall. You're like, oh, okay, I'm watching an anime.
Yeah, and
right
she's
now.
like, oh, what? This is Karuta? Like, you know, it's
there was a reason why Madhouse is absolutely goated for animating this, and he's just like, why would Madhouse? Oh, that's why.
I mean, like, the thing is, it's a perfect sport for an anime because the way that it's designed, there's like a very clear and consistent audio cue that leads into every moment of action. And there's like a very long anticipation where you can just hold on different character reaction shots, really like dial into everyone's psychology. There's a little bit of space to put in exactly 2 lines worth of, you know, exposition about what's going on to set the stage. Then there's a snap of action, and then everybody reacts, and you reset.
Or even before the snap of action, it's like those moments where it's like absolutely dead silent, and we're waiting for that first syllable.
Yeah,
and then everyone just goes.
Or the very first phoneme sometimes when Chihaya's like absolutely on.
Yeah,
and
it's like, right.
She hears the ch at the start of Chihayafuru.
Which is, by the way, the coolest superpower in any sports manga or anime.
Yeah, there's a moment towards the end of the first season where I was like, wait, are Karuta players new types?
I say yes.
When you see like the really high level players who have like the sense that draws their fingers to the card because they're friends with all of the cards, and they're like there's a little bit of, they're almost psychic, but it's all explained with like they understand different intonations, and they're like really studying the ways different readers approach these poems. So which as a voice actor is probably one of a very interesting part.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I think just for listeners or viewers, it's like, so how the game works is that there are poetry verses, there's like 100 cards, and the reader reads a verse, and whoever hits the card that is like the next part of the verse first gets the point. And then there's stuff like if you hit your opponent's side, yada, yada, you take stuff and you can move cards over and things like that. But that's the game, essentially. It's a reflex game. It's a memorization game. And just like, pew, like hit it.
And once you are out of, so the card field is split into 2 sides, and whoever runs out of cards on their side first wins.
Yes.
And if you grab one from the opponent's side, you can send one of your cards over there, so you're not losing advantage if you grab from the opponent's side.
Yeah.
That's the basics.
Yeah.
And it does such a good job of helping you understand that basic format for a game. And then like, it's really easy to understand. Oh, this person got there faster. These syllables are kind of hard to unpack because they sound the same until like the 3rd syllable of the poem or whatever.
Yeah.
And then once you have that understanding, it's really good at like building match by match the different little strategies of, okay, so I'm going to give my opponent lots of these single syllable cards so that I can attack them really fast.
Yeah.
But that also maybe makes it easier for them to do a defense because they can go to their single syllables right away.
Right.
And then you want both of the, if you can, you want both of the cards that start
syllables
with the same sentence, or like, the same word or the same sentence on the same side so that you can attack them all at once instead of having to wait. And then there's all these mind games, and you very slowly come to understand the meta strategy.
Yes.
And the mastery, like what it takes to really master the game beyond just having good hearing and being really fast.
Yeah. There's a lot of thought in it. And yet it's all presented in a very accessible way. Like, it's not, for people who listening, I'm like, oh, that sounds too complicated. It's really not. It's really easy to follow. That you're
it
really
guides you into it really well by having a lot of characters that also are like, wait, is this something I even want to care about?
Yeah.
Cut to like 30 episodes later and it's their whole life.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the show also does just a great job of preparing you, the Chihayafuru fan, for the experience of trying to explain that Karuta's actually really interesting to literally anybody. There's like a whole arc in the first season where they're all just kind of sad because they're the best Karuta team in Tokyo, and nobody appreciates how
they're
cool
like,
that
oh,
is.
cool, whatever. Yeah. That's how I feel when people are like, hear me talk about Chihayafuru, like, oh, cool, okay, I'm not going to watch that. Something that you brought up that I think is really interesting is the exposition. In other anime, it bugs the hell out of me. Like, especially, we kind of mentioned JoJo before, where they're like, oh my god, that guy has the piss stand! Oh, what do we do? Oh, we better keep our mouths closed so he doesn't piss in our mouths! And that's the whole episode. They're just yelling. They're yelling every single thought, but like,
yeah, that's kind of where it came from, though. Like that Speedwagon level of character to be in the back, to be on the sidelines, and being like, oh, they just did this strategy. That means this. I don't know how this is going to go.
Right.
Yeah.
But in
I bet Araki could actually make a fight with a guy who just pisses in everybody's mouths really, really peak.
Probably.
If he had the time, especially in current JoJo.
Right.
But anyway, you know.
But in Chihayafuru, it really kept, because I'm a big board gamer, as I mentioned before, and just like, you do have those thoughts in your head when you're like seeing like someone else's board, or you're like, okay, they're probably doing this. So if I do this, like it's organically something that if you're really into board games like me, you are strategizing like this, and everyone else is also kind of looking like, okay, he's got that card, like, okay, that means he's probably going to do this.
And also, they all strategize in different ways, and that's what I really love about Chihayafuru, is that, like, our main team, the team that we follow, how they look at this game is so drastically different from one another, because you got one character, it's like, oh, she just loves the poems. That's her thing. It's the poems. And then you have the other one, it's just like, no, I've been playing since I was a kid, and I'm trying to beat my rival Taiji over here. And then you have this other guy that's just like, numbers, studying.
Right.
And
memorizing.
It's like, memorization. And it's,
and he, oh man, I love how they like how he sets himself up to believe, I'm not that good. All I can do is memorize the cards. That's all I can do, right? And then, like, over the course of, we're still seeing in season 2, where I'm at right now, we're still seeing the depth of how good he actually is at memorizing things, right? There's like, there's the like, oh, okay, so he can you know, memorize the position of every card. And it's like, oh no, he remembers literally every single card that's been read in the entire match. And
it's still like people doing card counting in poker and at casinos, except he's doing it for Catoya, and it's amazing.
And it's encouraged even.
Yeah. He still thinks he doesn't have a talent, even though he can do that. Because, you know, he's next to Chihaya, who's got these insane reflexes and the ability to, like, hear the intonations on
the imposter syndrome is
real. She's got 20 one-syllable cards when there are only 8 one-syllable cards in the game, because she understands the different ways
on that
people
point,
read.
I really liked, like, the oh my gosh, my brain is getting so big about Karuta moment was during regionals, when they're like, oh, this is like the same reader we've had all day. Chihaya has the biggest advantage out of anyone. And I'm like, oh, this, like, there are so many nice layers to this. And to your point, SungWon, the exposition, if you are watching it like brain off, beer in hand, you could easily identify this as like just another sports anime where it's like I think of everything in Yoapeda, all the exposition in that anime, as the most inane nonsense. And maybe that's because I've grown up around my dad, who's been a big bike rider his whole life.
Okay.
But like, I normally in like, or I was thinking of a lot of like Hikaru no Go stuff, and like while watching this, I'm like, I don't want the exposition. The exposition's kind of like this artifact in a lot of sports anime, especially, that it's kind of like trying on my patience.
Right.
No, I mean, it's important, but I feel like in Chihayafuru, because the matches are also connected to the character development so perfectly at every single step, that like that exposition, I'm like, oh, there are layers here.
Yeah.
There are so many layers to the exposition. And I'm like, oh, this is not just like telling me how I'm supposed to feel. This is telling me on like 3 different levels how the person explaining this is feeling, how, you know, the character playing the game is feeling, how their opponent is feeling. And I'm like,
there's characterization in every line of exposition, really.
Yeah.
You like you understand on like the base level how each different character approaches the strategy of the game.
Right.
You understand, you know, what is affecting them emotionally.
Right.
And the thing is, we're calling it exposition, but it's really just like the inner monologue of the different ways to approach the game.
Yeah.
And the really nice thing about Karuta as a sport is the timing of it limits how much exposition there can be between a moment of action. Right. They can always only think for as long as they have to stand up for their little breaks between rounds.
Yeah.
And how long the reader is reading the poem. And sometimes there's too much exposition in the character's head and it stops them from hearing the next card.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, they're inside their own head too much. And you never, at no point is anyone like, oh, they're getting too inside their own head. You just understand that implicitly from the way that they're thinking.
I also just love how the tension can build in that. And this is one of the things that I really love about this game compared to not just like other sports anime, but like anything that has like a tournament sort of arc or style to it, in that they can and do lose.
Oh, yeah.
All of them.
Oh,
and that is fascinating to me because I've seen too many of those like tournament or sports style things where it's just like, oh, they set up the stakes and they make it feel like they're just barely squeaking over the line, but they usually almost always win. In Chihaya, it's like, no, they're going to lose. And they're going to learn from that loss.
Yeah.
And then maybe lose again.
Right.
But they're going to lose so that anytime you get to a moment of tension, you don't actually know, okay, is this actually when they're going to triumph, or is this going to be another failure for learning experience? And how is that going to work? What is that going to do? And it makes it a lot more gripping. And
that's my big point of comparison to Haikyuu for it, because Haikyuu is also really good at least early on. You know, later on, the stakes get so high that they just can't lose any given match because that's how the tournaments are set up.
Unfortunately.
But like, man, this first season, compounding disappointments of the ways that they, you know, the ways that they're just cheated out of a loss, or they can't quite make it, or they just come up against someone who's that much better than them. Every one of them hits, and you never see it coming. You never know how a match is going to go.
And then also, like, when you see them go in individually...
almost never.
Yeah, but when you see them go individually, because they do play as a team, but then they also play in their own solo matches, and then it's like, okay, well, now you also get to deal with the situations where some of them want to celebrate their wins, but then also others are like wallowing in their pits of despair for having lost. And it's like, okay, well, you're going to deal with this now.
Yeah.
Good.
No, you touched on something I mean, I love everything about this show, but something that really sets it apart from other sports anime is, like you said, Tristan, that characters lose all the time. And also, if a character, like let's say an opponent, is defeated, they don't just disappear like, okay, we're never going to see them again. This is a small community of not that many people play Karuta. So what's great is you see the same opponents come back. Like there's a character I love, Sudo. He's the sort of sadist one. Such a great character. And, you know, he just becomes like a fixture. Like he's always, you see him every season. And sometimes he wins, sometimes he loses. It's just, you can truly never know. And Chihaya, she has this amazing hearing, but they do a really good job. But she has all these flaws too. And there are people even then who are so much better than her. Like Shinobu. Like it's just like, that's the beauty of it, is you can always get better. And I love getting to know these characters. For me, the number one thing, I know we've been talking about the game a lot, but for me, the number one thing is the characters in this.
Yes.
The characters are wonderful. And I always tell people, if you watch the first 3, you know the classic rule of 3, you wait to watch the first 3. But if you watch the first 3 and you don't feel anything, don't bother watching more. Because for me, I was hooked. I was like, I would die for these kids.
Cried 2 or 3 times by the time I was at episode 3. And I mean, the thing is that the sport being so interesting makes the characters better, and vice versa. Because every character's got their own specialty.
Yeah.
But that ties very deeply into who they are.
Right.
Like Kana, you know, the one who really loves the poetry and the classic Japanese aesthetic. You know, that becomes the basis for her entire friendship with Chihaya. That ends up changing Chihaya in a fundamental way, where she's, you know, previously she was all about these cards as a series of sounds connected to images that I've got to go for fast, right? And then she starts slowly developing that real emotional connection to the cards, which is simultaneously her emotional connection to this new friend she's made.
I mean, I think Oe's the most important character in like that second half of the first season for that reason, because it really ties together what the point of this game is. It's not just a game. Like, you wouldn't want to play any game where it's just numbers and text on a piece of paper. That's not fun. Like, the best board game is more than the sum of its parts. And getting that element of Karuta is so nice, because then it also, again, reflects on where the characters are at more broadly.
It's like, there's these different lenses of viewing Karuta, where it's like a reaction game, a memory game, and then through Kana's view, you start to kind of understand that it's like 1,000 years of Japanese history being condensed into an instant and then decompressed every time the card is called.
For me, no moment is wasted in Chihayafuru. Like, every line, like you touched on, Miles, is, they're talking about the game, especially any match with Taichi. Taichi is a fascinating character. And like, it's just like, every moment everything he says, everything people say about him, it's like, wow, you truly are getting a sense of this guy's brain, this guy's development. And also there's a romance element that's really fun in it. Like,
it's one of the best in any anime I've seen. I put it parallel with Baby Steps for like weaving romance into a good sports story.
Right. It's slice of life, it's romance, it's sports, which are, I think, the 3 of my favorite genres. So it just kind of is a perfect culmination of all. I mean, the music is incredible. I think one of my favorite OSTs of all time.
I did get a little sad when I got into season 2, and the opening's still good, but it's not like as good as that first, the way that they play the music off as
second opening. Yeah.
But the way they use the musical cue at the start of the first opening to like suck you into each episode is so good.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I could go on and on and on about how good the sound design is just generally in this show. The use of the chanting, the like each line of the poems to like set the tone and
Nani wazuni sakuyaku no hana.
Yeah. It just every time. One thing I really wanted to bring up on this podcast that struck me is that this is a show where literally every, if not episode, every major arc, every major story beat has a moment, has a Peter Griffin, that's why they call it that moment, where they call out the name of the show. And it's literally every time chills.
Yeah.
There's that when you hear the Chihayafuru, every time it's a different plot beat.
Yeah.
Every time it's like the most important moment of that match, the most important moment of the episode.
Yeah.
And like they handle it in so many different ways.
Right.
Like there's that bit where Chihaya's taken out of the game and then they read her card next, and it's just one more gut punch. There's the moments where the game turns around where she's just like,
you guys are gonna finish. You're gonna keep watching, right?
They better.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you better.
They better.
Yeah.
I watched an episode literally right before we started this call, and I'm halfway through the Tokyo High School Championship finals right now, and I just want to get back and watch how that ends right now. Second season.
You're going to get to the end of season 3 and feel my pain. I'm in so much pain because...
The pain that we have been feeling for 5 years since season 3 came out.
But miracles can happen because the season 2 to 3, that was a miracle. Like how long of a gap that was. Like, so... All my favorite animes I'm always stuck in this limbo, but I'm like, please make
except
more.
for Monster. Monster finished, thankfully.
Monster finished, yes, thank God.
That would have been bad.
And then the voice acting in Chihayafuru is incredible. Like Mamoru Miyano as Taichi is amazing.
I know. See, that's what I love about him as a voice actor is he has two modes. Right. He has Taichi, which is just like, oh, I'm so serious. Yeah. And then he has the other mode.
Right.
The Zombieland Saga.
Zombieland Saga, yeah.
We're Zombieland Saga. And he just, and I love that he can flip between those so well.
Yeah.
And yeah,
like,
man,
the performances across the board. And I mean, just even the reading of the poems themselves on every level, like audio, visually, just, it's a masterpiece.
It really struck me as I was watching it just how much of a voice actor's anime it really is. Because, like, every reader has to bring a slightly different interpretation of the poems, even as they're going with that rhythm.
When your plot point is that you have a main character that can tell the difference between, and like, it really bothers her and matters to her how they read those cards. You can't just be like, oh, just whoever. You've been doing well, that come up to the mic, it's you. Go. You can't do that.
I get real readers too for the show. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure
it wouldn't surprise me if they did.
At least when it's not one of the characters.
Oh no, yeah, before like the people reading the poems as the readers.
Well, because they made a plot point. I can't remember which season it is, but there is a point of like they have like tests, and it's like you need to be certified.
In the first season,
you have to be an A rank player to be an A rank.
And then
reader.
Beyond that, you need to go and get certification to be an official reader. It's this whole thing. So it would not surprise me for just like how well and how accurate they've been doing this adaptation for them to be like, oh, wait, no, we need to go and get somebody that's actually certified to do this. That would not surprise me.
Sorry, there's that moment in like the master match at toward the end of season 1 where like you get inside Suo's head for a moment. He's kind of the big bad, I feel like, of at least the male side of the story, where you get inside his head and you hear the creepy but also complimentary things that he's saying about the reader. He's like, man, she just loves the Japanese language so much, and
he's like, oh, I love Kyoko-tan. Yeah, I love her. I love the way
he's he's waifu'd all of these readers, and just like,
and she's like an old lady. Like it's great. Yeah, I love that.
And like,
pure
it creeps
love
her
for the
out
craft.
how good he is at getting her cards.
Right.
It's like it speaks to how confident they are in their voice actors and the delivery, that they can call that much specific attention to something that is coming out of the performance. And that's like, I really do think it's a voice actor's anime, and also a show that's really good for like training your ear to listen to Japanese.
I still don't know a word of the language. I don't know.
But I mean, you're after a couple seasons of this, you will at least get that opening. But can you do the poem again, SungWon?
Oh, Nani wa zu ni sakuya kono hana fugo mori. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
It gets embedded in your brain.
It's embedded in my brain. I have watched... This show's infinitely rewatchable for me.
It is.
I have watched it
I'm seeing that
4 times. Like, and I will watch it again. If anyone wants to watch it with me, like a friend, I'm like, I'll watch it again.
Hell yeah.
And the same emotional beats...
Every time.
I cry every time. Like, there are parts in season 3 when you get to it that just, I'm like, oh my God. It is so, it just gets me every time.
I'm so happy that season 3 got made.
I know. Like, And I read some production behind the scenes of why it's taking so long, and it's because the actors are just they're getting more famous. When they all started out, Mamoru Miyano, I think, was still popular.
Mamoru Miyano was probably the biggest out of them.
But like they've all become like huge now, a lot of them. So it's harder to schedule them. The production, just like researching and doing all that stuff, it takes a long time. And then something that I really admire about the show is between seasons 2 and 3, there's this huge gap. I forget how many, like 10 years or something. It's something like that.
I don't think it was 10, but I think it was at least like
8 years.
Yeah.
It's a long gap. And normally when a show comes back, they would do like, all right, we'll reboot it, or we're going to skip stuff. But the director was vehemently like, we are starting as if no time has passed. Between seasons 2 and 3, it's literally just like next episode, like that's it. They don't try to recap and like, it's just, we're back where we were, and it's as if nothing changed. It's so seamless. Mm-hmm. So I'm praying that with the season 4, it'll just, because they were in the production notes, because the 3rd season Blu-ray has a bunch of like interesting notes, and they were like, yeah, we were thinking about cutting stuff in season 3. There's a whole arc in season 3. I won't spoil. That's incredible. And they were like, we might have to cut this. And the director was like, no, we're keeping all of it. It would be a huge disservice to the series to cut it. So it's great. I can talk about this forever, and it's the best.
I will say, SungWon, when I watched the first 3 episodes when it first came out, right? Like I looked at my Crunchyroll account when I was going back in, and I saw those 3 episodes were watched. And what you said, I think, is incorrect, that if you don't like feel something at the first 3 episodes, you shouldn't watch it. I think if you don't feel something, you shouldn't, in those first 3 episodes, you should stop watching anime, reflect, maybe go meditate for a year. You should really get in touch with your humanity.
Sure.
Because I do think those are a good enough selling point for the show to begin with. But the reason I didn't finish it was because I knew I was going to get too invested. And then as I was watching the first season in preparation for this episode, I was like, before we got to nationals, before we got to regionals, I'm like, okay, this is fine. I like the characters, but like, it seems a little basic. It seems like, yes, this is just a very well executed version of this thing. And then by the time we were done with regionals, I'm like, oh, I couldn't have been more wrong. Like really more, not only is every element of this as both a sports anime and as character drama and as, all these different elements best in class on their own.
Yeah.
But combined, they all work. All the different disparate elements of the show work so well together. I mean, just even when they're at nationals and they see Shinobu for the first time, and you kind of see, oh, this is. Let's get some context to see how big how high the power level is to be in the top of the top for Chihaya, and it's like you get that electric feeling all throughout your body, and I'm like, okay, I'm now so fundamentally in that I am waiting for this podcast episode to end so I can go back and watch more of season 2. Right?
Same.
Yeah.
Oh man, they do such a good job of helping you understand all the fundamentals so that by the time you get to that match with Shinobu, you actually like understand. You're in exactly Chihaya's shoes.
Right.
Where like you understand fundamentally what makes her so good, but there's also this little X factor that you still have to unpack that you end up wondering about for episode after episode of like, how is she that good?
Yeah.
And then, they give you that little taste of her and at the Master Queen match, they give you that little final taste of her and Suo and how they all operate. It's just so good at building up these characters simultaneously as this existential far-off threat that the other characters are going to be working toward for at least the next season. I don't know how season 2 ends. I don't know if they're at Queen territory yet, but like it feels like it's a far way off.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you comprehend what's good about them. They're not just like, oh, trust me, there's this really good guy off there doing his own thing.
Right.
And he's really good. You just gotta believe me, he's really good.
Yeah.
You understand Karuta.
Right.
And on an intuitive level. not on a like.
Yeah, we should have listened to you, Tristan.
Well, not just that, but like I'm listening to this and I'm trying not to interrupt because you guys are really passionate about it because you're in the middle of it. You're in the thick of it.
Yeah.
You are where I was like 5 years ago and SungWon probably earlier than that because I really didn't get into Chihaya till the start of season. Well, it was like in the gap between 2 and 3 is where I first watched it. I can't remember exactly where, but somewhere in there. But then like I'm hearing you guys because you're in the thick of it. You're so excited and I'm like, oh, you're going to be so disappointed once you're done and that's it. And you got to wait. You got to wait like the rest of us. I'm so sorry, but not at all.
Disappointed in that it's just, you're going to be desperate for more.
Yeah.
Because I'll hype it up. Season 2, the end of it, oh my God.
Yeah.
There's a thing that's incredible. And then season 3, it's very... I'll be vague, but it just never stops. It just never stops. But yes, you're going to be in despair once season 3 finishes, and you're like, because I'm adamant, I'm not gonna read the manga. The manga doesn't have an English physical release. It has, I think, a ebook something.
The digital release should be caught up by now, but I don't know if it is.
If they ever did a physical release, then I might read it. But for now, I'm just like, I'm kind of this way with a lot of anime where I'm like, I don't want to know what happens. And when it comes out, I don't want to know anything. When I was a kid, like Naruto and stuff and Bleach, I would, like, if I caught up, I would read the manga and be ahead and whatever. I don't do that anymore for the most part. Like, if it's a series I really, really love, like Chihayafuru, I know the manga, I know it's done. I know I could go read it. But if I just wait and it comes out and I've waited, it will be so deeply satisfying.
Because for me, it's like watching the anime is like the combination of so many things. So you can read the manga and you'll have some of the visuals because it's there, and you'll have the writing and the characters in there. Yeah. But like you don't got the music, you don't got the voice acting, none of the audio is there. So like there comes a point where sometimes I watch an anime and I'm like, okay, no, I gotta go and read it, and then I do it. But then there are other ones. So like I'm not caught up on Frieren, which is currently my favorite anime of all time. I'm not caught up on the manga at all.
Right.
Don't intend to be until they tell us that they're not going to adapt anymore.
So you've read the manga up to where the
I read the manga up till what has been adapted because I want to know, was there anything that they skipped, they missed? How did it tell the story a little bit different? But I don't go beyond what the adaptation has done yet.
Sure.
I will eventually, but no, because that's where I'm at with those things.
Frieren, believe it or not, I haven't seen it yet. I read the manga, but I can already tell that anime is going to be better than the manga.
It is so good.
And I'm curious because, like, I won't say too much, but where I left off in the manga, I was kind of falling off it a bit. Like, it was kind of going in a direction I wasn't that interested in. But I wonder with the anime, past that. I was wondering with the anime if I will be more into it, because that's always interesting, right? Like an anime that like improves upon, like there are some where they're the same. It's like you could, or some where the manga is better, like Fullmetal Alchemist, right? Yeah, like the manga is better in my opinion. Yeah, but Chihayafuru, haven't read it yet. Maybe one day I will. But you're right. The music, the voice acting, just the animated shots of seeing cards get hit. It'll be really hard without that.
I mean, it's just there's a surprising amount of juice in the anime production. Like it's really like when they hit the cards, it's not just the motion of the hand. There's like the follow through with the cards exploding off of the table. There's just a lot of more visual dynamism than you would expect from a card game anime. When you just hear, they're just playing card games. And then on top of that, there is the layer of sound design and music. Like, I mean, every time that one violin piece comes in, I start tearing up. Yeah. I mean, just partly because it's so perfectly deployed every time.
Whenever I hear do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do-do, I'm like, Chihayafuru.
Yeah. No, it just...
so good.
By the way, a lot of sports anime have captured the pain of losing, but I think it's also partially because there's the 1v1 element in this, but I've never been able to relate to the losing more. Yeah. Like I've had a pretty like rough run at like trying my hand at competitive Magic lately.
Yeah, and I figured it was because of your Magic experience. It's just like, is that it? Is that it?
Watching Taichi, like, you know, in season 1, I'm like, oh man, the way that he's reacting, the way he's losing, even, I'm just like, this is this captures that pain much more succinctly than even like the Haikyuu boys crying and eating their food at the end of season 1.
Right,
you know?
right, yeah.
Which was a great scene, but like, and I keep comparing it to Haikyuu. I'm like, wow, this is just everything I like about Haikyuu, but slightly better. The whole time watching it, my feeling.
But also with like an absolutely goated shoujo romance mixed in, which is also a goated shonen rivalry, and they're like the same characters involved in both of those at the same time.
Right.
I mean, the romance is just fine. Like, I wouldn't call it like the relationship between the three is great. I'm sure, but I'm saying from what I've seen, I don't think there's enough.
As a big romance enjoyer, I like the way it conveys how Arata feels about Chihaya, how Taichi feels about Chihaya, how
Chihaya feels about Karuta.
I mean, how Chihaya feels about Karuta while leaving her feelings about both boys a complete mystery to the audience, to them. And there's never a moment where anybody is just like explaining how they feel, but you understand the pining between Arata and Chihaya across this long distance. You kind of see what Taichi sees, where he looks at them and he's like, I can't insert myself in here. You know, there's this like connection between them. But he, you know, in the same way that he's not confident about his Karuta game, he doesn't like recognize how much he's there for Chihaya, how like legitimately she depends on him, how he's got a real shot there. But like he's just still caught up in this childhood moment of like Arata completely beat him, and he still thinks that's where their relationship's at. All of this is conveyed without actually anybody ever saying this is how I feel and this is why I feel it.
No, then that part's great, and I like that a lot. But I guess that's not like much of a romance. That's more of a personal character drama that each of them are facing very independently of each other, as far as where we're at in the story right now. But I guess I wanted to say, I normally, again, things that I hate in a lot of anime done extremely well here. Like the fact that, wow, that one moment I had when I was in elementary school or middle school is the entire basis of the rest of my life is actually done well here, because I feel like the characters actually reflect on that in a thoughtful and mature way.
Taichi's a really interesting... Oh, sorry, I don't want to interrupt.
No, go.
Taichi in the first 3 episodes is an absolute shithead. Like, he's such a little bully brat. And I kind of compare it to, like, you know, when I read or watched Silent Voice, I was like, God, I hate this character.
Yeah.
Like, I hate. And then, you know, by the end of it, I'm like, wow, this is actually a really complex character, and I really like the character. Taichi's one of those where, you know, you're saying, oh, this thing kind of defines him, but it does in such an interesting way, because you see why Taichi acted that way and feels that way and wants to redeem himself as the series goes on. There's all this like pressure from his mother, and there's all this stuff that's really interesting. He's a very complex character, which I really like.
I think part of it is what you're talking about there, which is it's not one day specifically changed their whole lives. That was an inflection point that was, even within those first 3 episodes, built up to very well, and then built down from very well. And you can see all of their motivations going in and out of that pivotal time in their lives.
Right.
That makes it not feel like some like, oh, you saved my life when I was drowning and now I'm yours forever.
Right, right. But I think also a big part of it is it's all like, I remember, because again, big board gamer. I remember the first board game I played where I was like, whoa, I gotta find out more about what's in this hobby. It's called Forbidden Island. And so I remember my Forbidden Island moment.
Forbidden Island's great.
Yeah, that was my gateway game into the hobby. And so watching Chihaya, like, I relate to both sides of that scene. There's a scene where, you know, Arata, they're at his house, and she's like, oh, Karuta, that's that game. And he's like, you know Karuta? oh, let me get it. And he brings out the game and he's let's play right now. Like, I've been that, because I am that now. Like, you play board games? Let's play board game. I'm going to bring out a board game. We're going to play a board game. And then I've been Chihaya, where I'm like, what's it? Oh, board games? Like, like Monopoly? What? And then that. So
much more than Monopoly.
Exactly. The love, finding that love, you'll always remember that. I mean, we all remember, like, the first anime where we were like, I'm going to dedicate the next 25 years of my life to this. That's going to be my
the rest of my life.
Like hyperfixations, right? It's like, that's it. So that's why I think it works. It captures so perfectly that feeling of like, remember when you first experienced the hobby that you would love for the rest of your life. And also I love seeing it, like, especially later on, there's a lot of older characters. Like Dr. Harda is an amazing character, the doctor who like is their mentor, and he's like 50 or something, like 60, and he's still like, I love this game just as much as I did when I was a kid, and I still want to get better. It's so inspiring, so relatable. Of just like, certain things your love's just.
I love that moment where like they're at that big tournament and or like one of the last big tournaments of the year.
Yeah.
And Chihaya's got that bet with Pseudo.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes. Right.
And like after she loses, Sensei like steps up to defend her and he's like, you better bring your A game because this bet will really be determined when we play. And then like you come back to the game, he wins. And they're like, oh, you did that for Chihaya. He's like, what? Oh, right.
Oh, yeah, that's right. No, I just wanted to win. Yeah, right.
He just really wanted to win that game of Karuta because he loves the game.
Yeah.
Huge respect to Harda Sensei, by the way, because if I was sitting in Seiza for more than 5 minutes at a time and having to lean over, like I work out all the time, I cannot do that. I cannot just like lean over on the ground all the time. My God,
the physicality required for that game is nuts. That's why it's a sport.
I like how I like how the hakama thing, the fact that they like decide to wear their hakamas, their like traditional Japanese clothes, all the time in every game, even in the more casual ones, ends up like they explain very succinctly how it actually ends up giving them an advantage because the obi, the thing that ties the traditional Japanese outfit together, gives you core support that lets you lean farther forward.
Yeah.
And that's just such a small technical detail. But like, every single little thing that they bring into the story ends up mattering.
Right.
Like it's not just, oh, we're just wearing kimonos because it's cool.
Yeah.
Or yukatas. It's like when you actually get into it, it's like, oh, okay, so this is improving their psychological game. It's improving their physical game.
Yeah.
There's like real reasons behind it, and it dynamically affects the story.
Every detail matters in the show. I love that about it. Yeah.
And so, we have a decision to make.
Okay.
Which is, where the hell on the list is this going to go?
Okay, well, boys.
You guys place it in the list?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Can I see where it's at?
So we have a list roughly. It's not perfect, and we're probably gonna edit it as we go because some of the times, like we watched like Royal Space Force, and then we kind of made the decision on it the day we watched it, and we're kind of all in the mindset of okay, maybe we should sit on that a little bit more.
Yeah,
I'll get it to top 10. Don't worry.
All right, but I want to start off with the top 5 because we all like it enough, and I'm wondering if it exists within the top 5 of the stuff that we've talked about so far. So the top 5 from 5 to 1 is Frieren, Princess Mononoke, ReZero, Pat Labor 2, and Baccano. Those are the 5 that we have. Now, of course, Frieren is my favorite of all time, but it's at number 5 in our collective things. So with that knowledge, I would love Chihayafuru to be number 1.
Honestly, I don't think that's that out of pocket because I'm sitting here having only watched season 1.
Yeah.
And I'm like itching to get back to watching more of it.
Yeah.
But also, I am already confident that I need to rewrite my top 10 and take Ping Pong out of there and put Chihayafuru in. And the way I'm feeling right now, it can only go up from there.
I think
if you catch up all 3 seasons,
top 5, top 3.
If you catch up all 3 seasons, top 5, easy.
Yeah.
Top 5. Yeah,
it'll be top 5.
No, like
it better be in here somewhere.
Yeah,
like that's the thing. Right now, it is already confidently supplanting my. I think it was 8th best anime of all time on my best anime of all time list.
Okay.
It is already invalidating my 10-year anniversary video.
So,
right?
Because
to be clear,
you're just starting season 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just so
just
literally
season 1 would be a top 10 anime of all time for you.
I think so. Yeah.
Season 1 is
that's
like
crazy to me.
Yeah.
It made me hyped as hell. I fell absolutely in love with the characters. I cried so many times for so many different reasons.
Yeah.
Like
Number 1.
Number one.
There's I mean, the full emotional texture of the human experience can be found in just that first.
It can. But then here's the thing. Do you see the potential, both you, Geoff, and you, Miles, do you see the potential of this going higher than Baccano, which was our previously combined agreement that was probably the best we had seen and talked about at that time? We always knew that something could go beyond it.
I'll say this much. Season 1 of Chihayafuru is like the Haikyuu recruiting all the boys and we're getting the band together, right? But once you get to season 2 and 3 where it's like, all right, we did all the homework and now we can just like really dig in.
I will say the hook that drew me into season 2, the reason I like immediately started watching it at midnight, despite the fact that we had a podcast meeting the next morning and it caused legitimate problems for all of our lives that I couldn't stop watching Chihayafuru.
Yeah.
The thing that hooked me was you need 5 more members in your club. And I'm like, we get new friends?
Oh, and
I get to make new friends?
Those new friends are great. I really like
and they're so good.
Yeah.
You're going to hate them at the start, but only at the start.
I was about to say, I don't like the new friends.
There's one that I love.
I love them immediately because like they're flawed, but they're flawed in such extremely likable ways. Like the guy he's really good at the different form of karuta, and he just really wants to impress his little brothers. Like it's annoying what he is doing because of that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, bro, I know I'm just this good older brother character is just only going to get more lovable over time. And then
Sumire?
Sumire, the like one,
love her. She's great. She's great.
She's good.
And I could tell I was going to love her immediately because I was like, man, just doing this 100% for your crush thing is like, it's such a great way to like introduce a character, make her kind of slimy, but also like relatable at the same time.
Yeah.
But then like, as soon as she follows him to the practice game elsewhere, I'm like, okay, she's going to be hooked. This is going to consume her life. All
right. So looking at this list, is these 10 I can read out loud?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's Baccano, Pat Labor. How do you say that? Pat Labor? I've never seen it. Pat Labor. ReZero, Princess of Mononoke, Freeran, Delicious in Dungeon, Vampire Hunter D, Royal Space Force. I'm not big on Royal Space Force. Project Eiko, Cromartie High School. And Cromartie, I'm not that big into it either.
That's fair.
Yeah, but for me, listen, I'm in Delicious in Dungeon. Chihayafuru beats Delicious in Dungeon.
Number 1.
Like,
I mean,
number 1.
Right? You are underselling it a little bit. You are a big part of Delicious in Dungeon.
Yeah, I guess so.
You're a big part of why I love the show.
You're also not an insignificant reason of why Dungeon Meshi is where it is on the list presently.
Yeah. I appreciate that. I mean, I love Delicious in Dungeon, but Chihayafuru, listen, ReZero, I mean, I have to be right, I haven't watched much of ReZero. I got ReZero is one of those I gotta like give a fair shake before I talk shit. I've only seen a little bit. When I
saw that reaction from you, I was like, oh, he hasn't seen much of ReZero yet.
But ReZero, I think it's just not my speed.
Watch it. Yeah, you'd be surprised.
Yeah. Once you've watched more of it, I mean, it's like I think it was top 3 or top 2.
Yeah.
Of all time. And
Tristan, you feel the same way?
No.
Okay. Interesting. All right.
But
I think you'll like it more than you think.
Girlfriends over here is like, it's the best. Middle Miles is like, it's okay.
I will say I lean closer to Miles than I do to Geoff on it. It's one of those. How far in ReZero did you get?
Not very far. What I'm
probably give it a fair shake.
I have to do it for research, so I'm going to watch it. Like,
give it a fair shake.
So Pat Labor, I don't know. That's movies, right?
Yes.
So Pat
there is
Labor
a TV,
is a series. It's a series of OVAs
Yeah.
that ends with a trilogy of movies.
Gotcha.
And Pat Labor 2 is the second.
I'm sorry,
movie.
I don't know anything about this trilogy you speak of. There are 2 Pat Labor movies.
Okay. Pat Labor 2, the movie, is
my favorite anime.
It's the prototype. Okay. It's the prototype for Ghost in the Shell.
Okay.
In terms of like the OVAs and the first movie are kind of like fun buddy cops with giant robot stories. Okay. And then the second movie is a Ghost in the Shell standalone complex episode.
Yeah.
It's the movie that Mamoru Oshii made before making Ghost in the Shell. And it's just this brilliant political and philosophical diatribe on the death of truth, the failure of the neoliberal project. It just gets it's insanely good. It is one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. 1 and 2. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out. I know the name, but I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Baccano is very good. For me, it's not a GOAT, but I acknowledge it's very, very good.
Well, that was kind of the thing with our list, is that it is like our combined taste.
Right,
so my favorite was Freerun, and it's only sitting there at number 5.
Princess Mononoke, undeniable. Yeah. But for me, it's Porco Rosso, baby. Porco Rosso.
Yeah, that's good.
That's number 1, baby. But I understand
the absolute best Ghibli. Yeah.
Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, I watched for the first time semi-recently. It was good.
It's sick.
Eiko, I haven't seen. Guys, I'm sorry. Chihayafuru is easily top 5. And I'm with Tristan. I'm biased. It could be number 1.
Right now, where I want to rank it is just below ReZero, because ReZero is one of my favorites of all time.
Okay, but you're only just starting on season 2.
And I'm only in season 1. I'm only finished season 1, middle of season 2. So like, I expect it to go up. It would take a lot for it to supplant ReZero for me specifically, because again, I think top 2. I think it's in my top 2 of all time.
Yeah.
Maybe top 3.
All right.
The fact that this is already a top 10 TV anime for you, Geoff, is actually absurd to me. Like, to be honest.
How is it absurd?
This is such a good first season, but literally the worst part of every sports anime, and we've talked about this before, is the assembling the team. It's like the opposite of a heist movie. Assembling the team is the worst part.
Yeah, but in this show, it's great.
In this show, this is a top 100. This is making lists guaranteed just from season 1. But talking about it as a top 10 of all time from just season 1, I believe you. I am actually completely on the train that this will end up in the top 10 or 15 of our list overall at this rate.
Yeah.
But saying that before I've seen seasons 2 and 3, wild.
Yeah. Listen,
so you
I
guys have that
guarantee
homework.
you, Tristan, you know this. If you guys watch 1 through 3, this will be easily top 10. Easily top 10 for sure, and I think it could be top 5.
If you want to put it right next to ReZero right now, I'm okay with it.
I think right between ReZero and Princess Mononoke is where I'm comfortable putting it right now.
The fact that you are itching to watch more.
Yeah, the fact that you plan to do that as soon as we stop talking.
I can crush a whole 13 episodes of Chihayafuru easy. It's so like, I don't know if you guys have this experience, but when I watch it, I'm like, oh my God, the episode's already done. Like in a good way. Like some other shows, I'm like, okay, all right, oh God, we're dragging a little bit. Chihayafuru never drags. And whenever those credits come out, we're like, oh my God, is it already done? All right, pull up the next one. Like,
and it does the thing where the ending kicks in, and at the perfect moment, I'm like,
yes.
Yeah. I live for anime.
I'm going to be checking back in. If Chihayafuru, I want updates. I want to know like where it's going to land. I gotta know. I'm invested now. I gotta know.
We will do our best to once they have finally made their way
back.
through.
You don't have to have me back, but have me back. I'm demanding.
Love to have you back
because I can talk about anime infinitely, and we showed that because we got so sidetracked, and I feel like we didn't even scratch the surface of my bad takes. Oh, I'll give you one more because you mentioned Ghost in the Shell. Dude, Mamoru Oshii movies. Honk shoe, honk shoe.
That's our side quest next time you're back, is to shit talk Mamoru Oshii with Miles on the call.
I know, I can already tell we're gonna have a fight about it.
It's literally Miles's favorite director.
Oh,
so good.
It's so
okay. We're gonna.
We'll save that for a future one. Okay. Let's just. Yeah.
Just look at his face. Look at it.
I know.
Look real good at Miles's face right now. It's
listen.
Next time on Quest for the Best, Miles literally kills a man.
Absolute despair in his face is that delicious. Listen, I'm not gonna be that guy who's like, oh yeah, I like all the critically. No, I'm just gonna tell. Which Oshii movie is the one where you're like that? This can't miss.
Well, no, Pat Labor 2.
Pat Labor 2. It's Pat Labor 2.
Oh, it's that director?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to check it out.
But I also I think Ghost in the Shell is actually overrated.
I agree. Yeah.
But the thing is, I still like it. It's just I even prefer his live action movies to Ghost in the Shell, which is that's the hot take, because half of his live action movies are like Garm Wars, where it's like the worst CG you've ever seen in your life, and I still am 1000% into it. Or it's like looks like a student film, like Talking Head, and it's still a 5 out of 5 movie. But like,
did you watch the Skycrawlers?
So don't talk about Skycrawlers. That's the one Oshii movie we don't
absolutely talking about. Skycrawlers.
That movie was unbearable for me.
Yes,
that was unbearable.
Skycrawlers is a slog. I will defend it. I like Skycrawlers,
sure.
But it is a slog.
Wait.
It's not going on the list, dude.
Important question.
Yeah.
Who here has played Skycrawler's Innocent Aces for the Wii?
Nobody. No, I think you're the only one. It's like that Story Wars game. I think you're the only one who's played it.
Surprisingly decent dogfighting video game for a tie-in to a movie nobody cared about for the Nintendo Wii.
Listen, do you all have like Bluesky?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Are we all following each other?
I believe so.
I think we're
more or less.
I think I got you on Bluesky. If I don't, I gotta change that immediately.
Listen, just make a group chat. And we can I'm always down for more recommendations. Like, I love filling in those blind spots. There was one going around of that weird list of like, the top. You saw that list, right, Miles? Where it was like the ones that like China really liked. You know?
Yeah, that was weird.
The checklist, yeah. But like, I love that kind of shit because I'll go through and I'll literally count and go, okay, I got to watch this many shows to get like halfway. Like, for me, I'm always finding more shows to watch. I'm filling in those blind spots. I'm going to become an expert. I'm not an expert yet in anime, but I want to. I want to become one. Well, and it's like Chihayafuru, to tie it back. You could, even if you've watched a lot of anime and played a lot of Karuta, you can always do better. You can always get better. You can always become more of an expert. That's why Chihayafuru is great. Tying it back into Chihayafuru. We'll have our Mamoru Oshii argument another time
later. Yeah.
We got to bring you back now.
Yeah. Listen, I can talk about anime forever, but watch Chihayafuru. Everyone,
watch Chihayafuru.
Watch Chihayafuru.
It's gonna be top 10.
That is
calling it. Tristan, I'm counting on you.
I'm gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
Top 10 at least. Top 10 at least. Cromartie High School over Chihayafuru? No. Cromartie High School's fun. It's not better than Chihayafuru. Not in a million years. If Cromartie High School is higher than Chihayafuru when I come back, you're all in trouble. Okay?
It's not higher than Chihayafuru now.
I don't know yet. Where are you going to put it? Where's it going to go on this list right now? Do you have to make that decision right now?
It's going to go right under ReZero, number 4.
I said right under ReZero.
Right under ReZero before Princess Mononoke. And once they finish it, we're going to drag it up to number 1.
That's pretty good. Okay. I'll take that now.
That's me basically taking your guys' word for it that it gets better because I believe it. Because it's extremely good.
Yeah.
It's extremely good.
I don't have to take your word for it because I fundamentally understand cinema. And I can see the good aspects of the story already there.
It's a 10 out of 10. It's just not better than Dungeon Meshi right now.
Put it at number 1 right now.
I don't know if it's not better than Dungeon Meshi right now. And I have finished all of Dungeon Meshi, which SungWon, you have you read the manga for Dungeon Meshi?
Who do you think you're talking to right now?
I mean, you just said that you don't catch up on the manga for anime that you really like.
Okay, that one's different because I read it first. Oh, yeah, of course I read it all.
Okay, so you know how peak that ending is.
Oh, yeah.
You know how it's like Full Metal Alchemist level of great plotting.
I f***ing love Delicious in Dungeon.
But
Chihayafuru
is better.
I mean, it's my number one anime, though. It's my favorite anime of all time. So nothing... I don't think anything can beat Chihayafuru because it's so specifically engineered for SungWon's. It's like everything SungWon likes in anime is in Chihayafuru, and it's done to the best. Like that's...
I mean,
not just
everything SungWon likes in anime, everything SungWon likes in life.
Exactly. And it's got a board game in it. Yeah, exactly.
Board game, beautiful vocal performances, great music.
Yeah.
Just it's a complete package of SungWon core everything.
If one person listening to this watches it, I consider my job. I mean, I've been spreading the gospel for years. Like I have beaten this horse to death. I'm like Chihayafuru. I think a lot of people have watched Chihayafuru because I won't shut up about it.
I mean, Geoff and I did. We've ignored Tristan for the last 5 years. He's been trying for 5 years to get us to watch the show.
Yeah. You just gotta have a louder guy just going and be like, no, Chihayafuru. That's all it took. Yeah, Chihayafuru. But listen, I'm glad you guys are finally on the train. It's the best. It's the best.
It's. I mean, the only thing making me like, is it the best? Is that this whole podcast is trying to figure out the best. Yeah, but like, it's definitely like I could tell, from the first couple episodes, I was like, this is an all-timer, and it's just my love for it has grown with basically every arc. Yeah. I'm just like, I didn't think I could love these characters more, and I already do.
It's gonna be a top 10. I'm calling it. By the time this podcast is done, top 10. And if not, I'm gonna find out what these are. We're gonna have a talk.
Thanks for joining us, SungWon.
We're going to have another guest episode where you break into our houses and kill us.
Exactly. Yeah. Can I plug something really quick?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. If I have to plug anything, since it's anime, there are 3 anime I'm in that I highly recommend. Delicious in Dungeon, Pluto, Ranking of Kings. Okay, that's it. Watch those 3. And watch the dubs. The dubs are really good. Okay, that's it. I just want to plug those.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
All right, goodbye, everybody.
Next time on Quest for the Best, Konosuba.